today. I'm starting with orthotics, pre-made orthotics, custom orthotics. Which ones are good? There's so many brands out there. They're expensive. They can range from 20 bucks to $700 for an orthotic. Which one should you get? Should you start with the $20 one or should you go with the more expensive one? I'm gonna tell you what works. Orthotics can be really good or really bad. There's a lot of questions. Should you go barefoot walking and strengthen your muscles? Or should you wear a maximalist shoe with the biggest orthotics in the world and cushion your feet? What's the deal here? There's a lot of conflicting studies. What's practical out there? Well, in the 1970s and 1980s, orthotics became very popular. They were big money makers for doctors and almost all insurances covered them. But then everybody got in on the game. Essentially chiropractors, stores, pop-up stores, mail order stuff with boxes. Everybody got in on it. Everybody's dispensing orthotics like candy. And over the years, they developed a pretty bad reputation. There's iPhone scanners, there's tablets, there's boxes that you can step in that are mailed to your house and 3D printed. I'm gonna go over all the brands in no particular order and tell you the pros and the cons. Aetrex. Aetrex is a brand that focuses on comfort and orthopedic solutions for the foot. These are ones that have deals at running shoe stores and boot stores. You step on them, they create a 3D image of your foot and recommend an orthotic. Where these are good is it kind of gives you your foot type, but then the orthotic's a little bit more expensive because they pay for the scanner, and it's a great gimmick. These can be very effective, but they're still mostly under-corrective. I would highly recommend these. They can be really good, and there's a reason people have so much success with them. Aetrex uses the Mosaic insole customization system, where you can essentially stand on it and make some modifications. They have what they call fit specialists at stores, so they partner with stores. This leads to a slightly more expensive but non-custom orthotic. Spenco. I personally used to love Spenco. I'm a big fan of Spenco. I think they kind of went more commercial and developed a lower range and a higher range insole at this point. So I don't think they're quite as high quality as they used to be, but they still make pretty good insoles. They still make pretty good arch supports that reduce discomfort. They target plantar fasciitis and overpronation. They make sandals, they make slippers. They can be really good. They put a little bit of cushion on there, and they're praised for their durability and long-lasting performance. Again, they used to be really good. I've heard from a lot of patients that the quality is not quite what it used to be. UpStep. UpStep is a brand that specializes in custom-made orthotic insoles. This is one that they mail you the box. It's in the $200 to $300 range, and they manufacture the device and ship it to you. They focus on a semi-custom. And the reason I say semi-custom, because it is a custom insole, but they're never gonna go as aggressive and as supportive as an in-person orthotic would be that can be adjusted with a doctor. But the reviews are great. People can be really happy, but at the same time, I have a lot of patients come in that say it just was not all that corrective, and it still costs almost as much as a custom orthotic in the office with a doctor. Superfeet. Superfeet is a little bit on the higher end of the pre-made orthotics. They can be very beneficial. I actually like these. They're a little bit more on the slim side and under-corrective side, but a little bit more on the high quality, expensive side. The reviews are pretty good. Dr. Scholl's. Dr. Scholl's is very well recognized, probably the most popular brand. They focus more on gel inserts. They do have a scanner at grocery stores. This scanner essentially goes from high arched foot to low arched foot, but all three are very undercorrective. They're gel slabs that don't really support your foot. These are meant more to get that initial ooh, ah sensation when you first step on it, but it doesn't really hold your knees, your hips, your feet straight. The shoe is gonna help a lot more with that. Where these are really good is for older people that don't have a lot of cushion on the bottom of their foot. They're a great introductory insole. Foot leveler orthotics. These ones are dispensed as custom orthotics. Foot levelers partner with chiropractors. Again, these can help. They provide vertical compression. They're geared more towards back compression. They don't really stabilize the foot very much. They're more of a very undercorrected, more of a cushioned pad. In my opinion, they don't really hold the foot from overpronating. They're more of a vertical compression device. And again, they're very expensive. I believe they're a straight chiropractor partnered company. I don't really hear of anybody else using them except for chiropractors. PowerStep. This is one started by a podiatrist. PowerStep is probably the #1 seller of higher quality orthotics. They have a lot of different brands. They have more aggressive ones, less aggressive ones. They have gone softer. On a scale of 1 to 10, they're probably like a 4 or 5 on the correction matrix. They're pretty soft. They do give you some support. I would say they're a very good choice for a pre-made orthotic. There's a few different levels, but they're a great introductory one. I recommend the full-length one or the half-length one. They make a lot of my recommended list, and they are widely available at a lot of grocery stores. They're kind of the high-end grocery store one if they are available. You can't go wrong with PowerStep. They make a lot of different options. Kids, dress shoes, men's, women's, more aggressive, less aggressive. The price has gone up with inflation, but it's a good go. I would say if you're not 70 plus, probably better than like the Dr. Scholl's as far as the grocery store brands. It's more for the fit, athletic, durable person. Walk Hero. Walk Hero is very popular online. This is kind of like the Chinese knockoff of PowerStep. They have a little bit less option, but they're the slightly lower cost PowerStep, although now they're going mainstream and they're starting to raise their price again. But Walk Hero can be a very effective one. My personal results with these orthotics, all of them can work great. I lean more towards PowerStep and Walk Hero as my good pre-made ones. I've personally had great success with orthotics. I've dispensed thousands of them, and I would say 70% of the time, the pre-made ones can do a great job. For these conditions, peripheral neuropathy, ball of the foot pain, bunion pain, hammer toe pain, heel pain, arch pain, ankle pain, knee pain, hip pain, what I always tell people is you want to go in steps, and specifically, you want to start with a good shoe. If you don't have a good supportive shoe and you're trying to use an orthotic, you're going to fail no matter what, because that orthotic is going to be uneven and the wall of your shoe is going to collapse and flap side to side. I go over my favorite recommended shoes, but I like Brooks, I like Asics, I like New Balance, I like Orthofeet, I like On, I like Kuru, I like Saucony. There's a lot of great brands that can fit an orthotic, and you take out the insole from in there and you stick a pre-made orthotic in there. That's a great start. And for most of these, depending on your age, you want to start softer and go firmer. If you're in your 80s or 90s, you want to start with something really soft like a Dr. Scholl's. Dr. Scholl's is the least risky orthotic, but it hardly does anything in terms of support. The next level up, you probably want to go with a PowerStep or a Walk Hero, and I kind of like my favorites for the situation below, and that holds you a little bit straighter. And then as a month, 2 months go by, you get used to it, they might not feel like they're doing very much at all. That's where the custom insert comes in. And if you have a long stubborn problem, the custom inserts, so UpStep and companies like FitsPerfect, UpStep works with a box you can step in, you create an impression and it sends you an orthotic. And number 2, FitsPerfect, you can use your iPhone to scan them. I have my links for all those below. And then if that's not working, you want to come in to see a podiatrist like myself. And if you're in Michigan, I would love to see you. What I do is I do a biomechanical exam. I check your hips, your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings, your calf muscles. I bend your ankles up and down, your big toe joints up and down. I see where it's tight. What kind of adjustments do we have to make? And the thing is, you can adjust them from appointment to appointment. You want to look at your leg kind of like a dentist looks at a tooth. You don't want to straighten that tooth all at once. You want to take that tooth and get used to it a little bit straighter, a little bit straighter, a little bit straighter. And when your foot is now straight, that soft tissue gets used to it. Your hamstrings, your thigh muscles, your hips, your lower back, over a couple months get used to walking straight. That's when walking barefoot makes sense. That's when strengthening your muscles makes sense. At first, you want to just get used to walking straight and your muscles will adapt. Using this method, virtually 100% of patients that come see me do see improvement, and there's no real risk. The cost does not have to be high. What's a $20 or $30 or $50 pre-made orthotic when you're weighing surgery as a result? And here's the real big secret. All of this stuff is around for a reason because it works. There's happy people and there's unhappy people with all of these. You just have to use it correctly. And the big secret with orthotics are nobody really makes a lot of money on these anymore. Compared to like a $20,000, $30,000 surgery for a hospital, why would the hospital advertise a pre-made orthotic? Why would the medical system advertise a $20 orthotic when they can make money on a $30,000 surgery and a patient for life? It's something you have to think about. And that's why there's not that many studies for orthotics anymore. The reality is, in my opinion, orthotics work amazing. This stuff all works. The barefoot walking works, the orthotics, the good shoes, they all work, but they have to be used at the right time and the right sequence. I go over my favorite shoes, my favorite orthotics, and my condition-specific guides. If you're in Michigan, come see me. But the big secret as well is you have to get a biomechanical exam. If something's hurting when you wear your orthotics, you have to get it looked at. Is it a bad knee, a bad hip, a bad foot? You might have to massage. You might have to use a foam roller. You might have to get physical therapy. You might have to get an injection. You might have to get shockwave therapy. Ungunk your body. Start walking straight.